Hello, my name is Molly, and today I'm going to talk to you about screenplays. So we're going to run through Duet, which is a professional scriptwriting software, and how to use it and how to format it correctly, and good practice for writing a screenplay in the correct format. So first, I'm going to talk to you about Duet. As I said, it's a professional software and it's free to use. You can create a free account and then log into your account from anywhere, so you can write at college or at home. So we're going to head over to the website and we're going to create an account together. I've literally just searched Duet in Google, and the first one that pops up is the website that we want to go for. So we are going to get started, and that will bring you to this pop-up box. And you want to write your email in. I'd suggest you use your college email so that you can share your projects with your teachers. So I have actually already created an account. So I've got my college email in and it's already filled in my password, but you'd create a password and that will bring you to this page here. Now I've already started to write a script, which is why it brings me straight to that page, but you will probably have a pop-up box that looks like this. Now you want to enter your project name. If you don't know what the name of your script is going to be yet, you can write working title or untitled, and I want it to be a screenplay, and that's really important because that's going to help you format it correctly. We're going to learn a technical skill and then learn how to type it in Duet. So the first one is make sure you're in the correct formatting. Now Duet does this for you. Traditionally, screenplays are size 12 in font Courier New. Next, we're going to write our slug line. Now this is our scene heading. This sets the scene. So it will start with EXT or INT, that's exterior, and interior or external and internal. And then you'll write your location and the time. So that could be the media and film department, day, lunchtime, 12 p.m, however you want to write your time, but make sure it's consistent throughout your script. If one scene is continuing on from the next, that's when you'd write CONT in brackets, and that just means continued. In Duet, you have all these little buttons at the top, and that's going to help you format your script correctly. So I want a scene heading, internal or interior, and you can see that it pops up on the screen. So I'm going to click the one I want, and then I'm going to put my location, and then I'm going to put the time of day. So the next one is our directions. So we want to set the scene, but it is not our job to write in prose. We're not writing a novel or writing a screenplay, and the difference is really important. Traditionally, your directions should really only be about 3 lines, and they should be very blunt and to the point, and they should be in the present tense. For example, character A sits, not character A is sitting. So if we go to Duet, I'm going to enter, and that's going to bring me onto a new line. And already you can see that it's selected action for me. So it means I can just carry on writing. I've just come up with a short little scene direction. We can see that we set the scene, we introduce our character. Now it's really important every time you introduce a character or a key prop that it is in capitals, only the first time. And I've written a little bit about my character. So character A, 17, an enthusiastic film student, sits checking their watch. So we've established who they are and that they're anxious or they're waiting for something. Your directions need to show, not tell. So I didn't say character A is waiting for something. I said character A is checking their watch, and it just sets the scene without too much description. The general rule of thumb in film and TV is that 1 page of your screenplay equals 1 minute of screen time. So it's really important to keep that in mind, especially if you're writing your 5-minute short films. So the next technical skill we're going to learn is how to write montage or a series of shots. This is something that you might want to use to show the passing of time or to show a character waiting. And a series of shots is pretty easy to write. This stops you having to do a slug line for every new shot. If you're establishing a setting, for example, the college, you might want an establishing shot showing the sign. You then might want to follow a character down a corridor, see them open the door to their classroom, establish the classroom, and there are a series of shots, but they're all within the college. So your slug line would be the Sixth Form College Farnborough, and then you'd write a series of shots in capital letters with a colon. And then you write a capital A and brackets and your first shot. Remember, in a screenplay, we don't write that it's an establishing shot or a mid shot. We just write what is in the frame. And then you carry on writing A, B, C, however many you want. and then you enter and you carry on writing as normal. A montage is a series of 2 or more images that blend in and out of each other, usually between 2 characters or 2 settings, but you keep going back and forth. So hopefully you understand the difference there, and you would just write montage and a colon instead of a series of shots. So if I were to write that in Write a Duet, I would press enter, and I would write series of shots with a colon. I'd press enter again, and I'd start writing as so. Now, another thing you might want to learn how to write is phone conversations. You can write these in one of 2 ways. You can have a character off screen, so we stay with one person on the phone and we just hear the other person's voice, or you can intercut between 2 locations, so you can intercut between both characters on the phone. You don't need to write a new scene heading every single time, because that takes up too much space in your screenplay. So you just write intercut dash interior or exterior location 1 and then slash location 2 and the time of day. So you then establish both locations in your action. Next to your character name, you'd write in brackets into phone. So we're going to learn how to do this on Write a Duet. You have your character, so I'm going to click on that. And our character names are always in capitals, so I'm going to write character A. And then because I want to write them on the phone, I'm going to put into phone in brackets. I'm going to make sure I press enter, and already it's gone to the dialogue setting. If it doesn't, the dialogue setting is up here. So then you can write your dialogue as so. Now, the next technical skill we're going to learn is voiceovers or off-screen. In brackets next to your character name, you would write O.S, which is off-screen. Now, off-screen means that a character isn't necessarily present within a scene, but their voice can be heard within the scene. So they might be shouting from a different room, or they might be walking into the room and we haven't seen them yet. But the important thing is the characters in the scene can still hear that voice. Voiceover is a little different. So it's used when the character isn't present within the scene, but could be heard through a telephone or a radio. And it's also used when a character narrates the story. So when the other characters in the scene can't hear this voice, it's the kind of voice of God or within a character's mind. Dialogue is the weakest form of storytelling. Great characters will tell a lot with their body language, the way they interact with their setting. Dialogue can feel very expositional and very clunky. We don't always narrate our life out loud to ourselves. So it's important that you come up with other ways of showing how your character is feeling or what they're thinking. And as we've said before, show, don't tell. Ask yourself, is there a way I could tell this non-verbally? Movement, facial expressions, instead of having a character recall an event, can we live that event along with them? And you never want to tell the audience something they already know, because it's boring. If we've watched an event happen, we don't need to see a character then recount that event, because the audience is going to switch off. It's not necessary to have parenthesis all the time. It can be a little bit condescending to actors to tell them exactly how to say a line each time. Your dialogue should convey their mood and tone. Above my lines of dialogue and below my character name, I am going to use the parenthesis button. And that will add some brackets in that we can add a kind of stage direction inside the brackets. So a mood or a tone. The only reason I'd suggest you really use this is if they're whispering, because you can't tell that from on the page. I wouldn't write anything like angry, because your dialogue should show that your character is angry. And think about the subtext of your dialogue. Bad dialogue is just surface level. In the real world, people don't always say what they mean. So really think about how you can show that a character might make a promise to another character, but their body language or their facial expressions or something that they do tells the audience that that's not what they mean. Dialogue is also not like real speech. It's not littered with ums and ers. In screenplays, characters only say what's necessary to get to the point. If a character says something they don't mean, that's got to mean something. So because they don't follow through on that promise, there's got to be a consequence. Everything needs to have meaning. You want to enter a scene as late as possible and leave as early as possible. We don't need to show someone nipping to the shops to buy some milk to see them putting milk in their tea. Dialogue will only stand out and feel clunky if it doesn't feel true to your character. So it's really important that you spend time developing this character, thinking about how they speak and the way they speak. And one of my biggest pet peeves is exposition. It's something that I notice straight away in a film or a TV series It's so boring to watch someone explain their world and explain where they are in their life. Think about creative ways of hiding that exposition. The scene might have emotional content, so we might join two characters in an argument, and we're learning about their backstory and their background because of how they're interacting with each other and what they're saying. I'd suggest you read a lot of screenplays before you start writing, and a great website to find screenplays on is the BBC Script Library. Now, they have scripts from many of their TV shows. You can search by genre, and it's a great way of reading how writers in the industry write their scripts. I hope that this video has helped you feel more confident in writing your screenplays. And remember, it's a process. Draft and redraft, read aloud to make sure the dialogue makes sense when spoken, and share it with people to get feedback.